Sarah sat in a crowded cafe, her coffee growing cold in front of her. Her friend was late, and with each passing minute, a tighter knot formed in her chest. Her breathing grew shallow, and a tingling sensation crept up her arms. She clenched her fist, her nails digging into her palm as if to anchor herself. It wasn't until she recognized her body signals that she realized this was more than just impatience. It was anxiety. She took a deep breath, exhaled slowly, and allowed the tension to ease. By listening to her body, she discovered a way to ground herself, bringing her mind back to the present. In this module, we will work on our awareness of core feelings and sensations. This is the second step in building powerful emotional assets. In the first module, we completed the first step. You understand the science behind how our emotions are constructed for fundamental elements like affect, interoception, concepts, and emotional experience as a social construct. At present, we are focusing on awareness skill set, which involves observing our sensations and feelings without judgment. As hinted in the previous section, interoception, sensing internal body states, is fundamental to emotion. Modern neuroscience has mapped the pathways of interoception. Body signals travel from organs to the brainstem and up to the thalamus and insula, where they contribute to conscious emotions. Understanding interoception illuminates many aspects of emotion. Interoception reminds us that emotions are truly embodied. The gut, heart, lung, endocrine system all are actively involved. The vagus nerve, which runs from the brain to heart, lungs, and gut, carries signals that influence heart rate, inflammation, and even gut microbiome. These in turn have been involved in mood and stress resilience. Butterflies in the stomach when you are nervous or appetite loss when you are sad are concrete examples of emotional interoceptive effects. People differ in interoceptive sensitivity. Those who are more attuned often feel more intensely because they sense the changes more vividly. Being able to notice my heart is pumping heavily, my fists clenching, can sometimes allow quicker emotional awareness. Anxiety disorders often involve misinterpreted interoception. For instance, panic attacks can be triggered by a gentle body sensation. A slight breathlessness, interpreted, "I am suffocating." Improving bodily awareness through practices like deep breathing or mindfulness techniques can improve our interpretation. One of the most crucial takeaways from the theory of constructed emotions was that our mind is not a reactive machine responding to stimuli like our muscle cells. Our brain, containing 86 billion neurons, is an extensive network that never lies dormant waiting to be awakened. Our neurons are continually stimulating one another. Based on hundreds of studies, there is a substantial evidence that your brain predicts your body's responses by drawing on prior experiences with similar situations and objects, even when you are physically not active. Imagine our brains are enclosed within the skull, having to figure out the meaning of the outside world through sensory inputs. Our brains must interpret the meaning of a loud bang, which can arise from various causes: slamming door, a bursting balloon, a hand clap, or a gunshot. It tries to determine which of these causes is relevant. often merely guessing, with its primary clues derived from past experiences constructed as simulations within its vast network of neural connections, given this particular situation along with sights, smells, and other sensations. So our brain simulate and predict. We typically think of predictions as statements about the future, such as "it's going to rain tomorrow" or "I'm going on holiday next week." However, we are now shifting our focus to predictions at the microscopic level, where millions of neurons communicate with one another in milliseconds. These neural connections try to anticipate every fragment of sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch we will encounter, as well as every action we take. These predictions represent our brain's best guesses regarding what's happening in the world around us and how to respond in order to keep us alive and well. Through prediction, your brain constructs the world you experience. You can benefit from this brain feature by aligning yourself with its prediction power as a best guess. So let's play with the idea. What would our life be like if we experienced emotions as we predicted or imagined in the light of our desired future? Let us pause for a moment and have a demonstration. I have taken this tool from Michael Galb's book, How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci. Try smiling like Mona Lisa for a few seconds and take notes of your feelings and sensations. Did you experience pleasantness, calmness, contentment, and wonder? Did you notice that you intentionally altered your mood just a moment ago? Your mind anticipated and created those sensations. So whenever you feel the urge to react, envision the Mona Lisa as a symbol of pleasant feelings and wonder, embracing the unknown as beautifully as you wish to experience it. Our brain continually creates and revises our mental model of the world through prediction and correction. It is a vast, ongoing simulation that constructs everything you perceive while determining how you act. However, predictions are not always correct compared to actual sensory input, requiring the brain to adjust. These adjustments are normal aspects of our brain's operating instructions. Without prediction errors, life would be boring. Nothing would be unexpected or new. On the other hand, most of the time our brain's predictions are pretty accurate. Otherwise, one would feel constantly uncertain or hallucinating. Our default network often leads us to overreact to situations based on false predictions. Evolutionary, we have a negativity bias. We survive because our brains develop the capacity to pay attention to danger. The case is that most of the time we still interpret certain body sensations as a sign of danger, but in reality it is not. When you take the time to observe your sensations from a broader perspective, you realize that you can adjust and begin to construct better emotions. Probably you saw this video of observing yourself from above as you become smaller and smaller. In the PDF you will find this expanding perspective exercise. Emotions often seem as a reaction to events, urging us to act. For example, the urge to yell when you are angry or to withdraw when you are sad. A skill from dialectical behavior therapy called urge surfing is quite a useful practice. Imagine your emotion like a wave that will rise, crest, and fall. Instead of impulsively acting, ride the wave. Notice the urge as a peak of the wave and know that if you don't act on it, it will pass. Research shows that most emotional surges last only seconds to minutes unless you refuel by your ruminations. So, for example, during a craving or rage, set a timer for 10 minutes and commit to not acting until then. Use the time to breathe or distract yourself. Often the intensity will subside enough that you can choose a more skillful response after. This builds self-control muscles. As we become better and better in awareness, we will be able to refrain from reacting and instead focus on creating and adopting. I will present two approaches to awareness. The first involves pausing to pay attention to your bodily sensations and recognizing the core feelings. It has been suggested that what you are aware of is within your control, granting you freedom. For some individuals, learning awareness might occur quickly, while for others, it requires a more gradual step-by-step process. The best practice of observing our body sensations is by being in the present moment, called mindfulness. We often forget that life is available only in the present moment. If we abandon the present moment, we cannot live the moments of our daily life. So pause for a moment and focus on your breathing. Then each body part and tune into your body's sensations. Are you pleasant, unpleasant, calm, or intense? Try doing this several times daily and you will transform from a reactive individual into an active participant. Why do we need to pause and observe? The sensations you experience in your body do not always reflect its true state. Remember the prediction error. In essence, you feel what your brain predicts. You might think that in everyday life, the things you see and hear affect how you feel, but it is mostly the other way around. Your interpretation of core feelings influences your sight and hearing. In other words, you experience emotions according to your body's perception. That's why it's so important to be aware. If you think that someone's word hurts you, you are living in illusion. It's hard to understand that we create the negative experience by guessing and predicting incorrectly what would be the best for our survival. Whenever you have a negative emotion towards everyone, you live in an illusion, rightly worded by Anthony Di Mello, a great teacher and psychotherapist. You cannot change what is real, but you can change your beliefs. A famous Stoic maxim from Epictetus states that people are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take on them. In other words, external events don't cause our emotions directly. It's our beliefs about events that does. We will work on beliefs in the next module. The second approach to awareness can transform your entire life. If you truly understand, you will no longer be the same. When you observe yourself, you kind of distancing yourself from your feelings, your body, and your labels. You are not your desires, nor your thoughts, nor your body, nor your labels, such as your profession, religion, or political affiliation. The moment you cease to identify with these aspects, you become free and untouchable. No person or event on earth has the power to disturb or harm you. You are in control. You don't need to protect the illusion of self. That doesn't mean that you don't need to know who you are. That's another question. How do you define yourself after all of this? The self is a useful concept in certain situations. The point is that you are not in a fight and flight or survival mode, but you can create and experience life fully. Here is one self-observation practice. Watching yourself. Watch everything in you and around you as if it were happening to someone else. This means that you don't personalize what is happening to you. The reason that some of us suffer from depression and anxiety is that we identify with them. You say, I am depressed, but you might say, I'm experiencing depression right now, but you are not depressed. You are not your depression. Be a passive observer of yourself. You are not interfering, not fixing yourself. Just watch, observe. You don't need to be fixed. You don't need to identify yourself with me, with your family, with your country, with your possessions, with your body. How would it be if you could not call these things yours? You would be detached. You would be disidentified. That means that you lose yourself. You will fear neither anyone nor anything. This doesn't imply that you will never be in a fearful situation, but rather that your fear does not define you. You are perfectly content to remain an observer, a nobody, with respect to labels, but someone who pursues a goal and has a purpose. I truly enjoy observing myself, my bodily sensations, thoughts, and actions. I perceive my life as an experiment of development, and this perspective brings me freedom. Whenever I catch myself being too emotionally involved in a discussion, reflections help me to grow. Now, return your focus to your body. Here is one final practical tip. Your interoceptive network operates continuously, generating predictions to uphold a healthy balance. And this process is the source of your affective feelings, like pleasantness, unpleasantness, arousal, calmness. If you want to feel good, your brain's predictions about your heart rate, breathing, blood pressure, temperature, hormones, metabolism, and so forth must align with your body's actual needs. If you do not, and your body budget becomes unbalanced, then you will feel dreadful regardless of the self-help tips you follow. This represents your body's budget in relation to your interoceptive network. When those predictions are chronically misaligned with your body signals, with your body needs, it becomes difficult to restore them in balance. So the most crucial thing you can do to master your emotion is to maintain your body budget in good condition. What can you do, practically speaking, to keep your predictions calibrated to your body budget balanced? So here are several tips, and you can find more in the PDF. Healthy food, good sleep, exercise, massage, meditation, a regular lunch date with a friend, giving and gratitude, walking in the park, or adopting a pet. A good example of awareness practice is Feldenkrais's method emphasizing awareness through movement, aimed at enhancing human functioning and self-awareness. According to Feldenkrais, refining movement by improving the functioning of the nervous system also boosts our learning capacity. This method has been shown to elevate mood, enhance quality of life, and positively impact various physical aspects. So try to observe your body movements and sensations during exercise, whether you are running or walking. So as a conclusion, here are some questions for a reflection. Do you know someone who is not affected by blame or praise? Can you be that person? Why not focus on your present instead of wishing for improvements in the future? What can the big picture teach you about the present situation? How can I be more non-judgmental toward others? How can I use the constructivist approach when others are negative toward me? How can I create more Mona Lisa experiences? I hope you enjoyed these skill building tips and see you next time.